What's up, guys? Coming at you today with a full slate of MLB action on Tuesday, September 23rd. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, a pretty busy day out there across multiple sports on Monday. Still had a couple plays there live in the MLB. We've got the Padres at minus 130. That's a one-run game there against the Brewers. With the Giants minus 150. That is also a one-run game there against the Cardinals. We'll see how those finished up. We did cash our Monday night pick. We had the Lions at plus 4.5 as our dog of the day. They come through with a pretty comfortable win. Very impressive stuff there from Detroit. Played pretty well defensively. Really ran the ball well. So we'll definitely take the win on that one. They win that game straight up relatively comfortably. We also had Lamar Jackson under 28.5 passing attempts at even odds. Got a lot closer than we thought it would. He passed the ball 27 times, but still cashed the bet. Derrick Henry thought he would get a little bit more of the work there, and Lamar would do a little bit less, but didn't end up being the case. Regardless, we'll take the win. We also had Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He only had one passing touchdown, put up a pretty solid day throwing the ball, but the running game was going so well there for Detroit, they didn't really need to get Goff that involved. We also cashed our massive lock of the day. We had the Braves at minus 250. A kind of blowout 11-5 win despite a bad start, or at least bad by his standard start there from Sale, but the bats stay red hot there for Atlanta. The Nationals pitching staff being a disaster as usual. We'll cash that lock of the day, and we continue a very hot run there on lock of the day plays. Overall, looking like it's going to be a solid day. Hopefully we can cash those other two MLB plays that are still going, but we're going to dive in here, guys. We've got a full slate to cover here on MLB Tuesday, and there's an awful lot of interesting playoff implications here coming down the pike. So we're going to hop right in. Right off the bat, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays. They're going on the road here to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunately for them, Tampa Bay and Baltimore, they are both eliminated from playoff contention. The Rays didn't have the season they were hoping to. The sale of the Tampa Bay Rays just got okayed, so a lot of changes potentially incoming. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Ryan Pepiot. They just won 1 out of 3 there against the Red Sox. Pepiot's had a pretty decent year, 11-11, a 3.77 ERA. His last start was against Toronto. He got obliterated, so that wasn't exactly a great look there, but he had 3 very good starts before that. We'll see what he does in this one going up against the Orioles. I don't think he loses too much motivation here, since his team's not playing for anything, but the last time he faced the Orioles, he had he had a really bad start against them back in late June. In mid-June, he had one of his best starts of the year, so we'll see which version of Kremer we get in this one. In July, he got obliterated by the Orioles, so I'm a little bit worried about Pepiot here. I'll be a little bit worried about Kremer too. We'll cover that in a minute. Now, the Rays bullpen hasn't been a disaster this season. It's been one of their strengths. A 3.68 bullpen ERA is very reasonable, but offensively, 7.37, 4.2, and 5. The offense is really what let this team down in the back half of the season. I haven't loved what I've seen from them at the plate. Their season-long numbers are okay, but I'm not super high on this offense. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Orioles. Baltimore's actually came on a little bit here at the end of the year, but they just lost 3 out of 4 against the Yankees. That's not exactly a great look. They're eliminated, like I was saying, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Dean Kremer. He's 10-10 on the year, a 4.39 ERA. Coming off a good start against the White Sox, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, and an 8-7 win. Start for that, he had a pretty good but short outing there against the Dodgers. Before that, he was getting slammed, though, so we'll see what he can do here against the Rays. He faced them back in July and had a great start over 7 innings, so we'll see which version of Kremer here, can be a little bit all over the map. We'll see what he's like in this one. The Orioles' bullpen's been a big weakness this year. The offense has had its bright spots, but over the last few games, they scored 1-1-4-0 there against the Yankees, not swinging the hottest bats coming into this game. They're 24th in runs scored and 24th in batting average. So, look at the numbers for this one. The odds makers have it as a flip. Both teams are listed at minus 110. We've got totals out there of 9 or 8.5. Tampa Bay, 35-40 on the road, 37-34 and 4 to the under on the road. The Orioles, 37-41 at home, 43-33 and 2 to the under at home. I could maybe wrap my head around under 9 in this game. I don't think that's terrible. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Orioles at minus 110, given Kremer's recent, success against the Rays, but this play probably not going to make the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we have a game that is infinitely more interesting than I would have ever guessed it would be a few weeks ago. We've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. This game, the Guardians are currently one game back there in the AL Central. Looked like Detroit had the AL Central sewn up. Well, not so much. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Tariq Skubal. Happy Skubal Day to all those who celebrate. He's going to be trying to help them snap a 6-game losing streak. The last time Skubal was on the mound, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run allowed there against Cleveland. In a game, Detroit eventually lost 3-1. So a bit of concern there. Obviously, Skubal's been amazing this season, but that Detroit bullpen has not been amazing. A 4.12 bullpen ERA. The offense has been terrible down the stretch. 2, 5, 1, 1, 0, 5, 2, 4, 2, and 3. That's a lot of games in a row to really suck at the plate. They're down to 9th in runs scored, 15th in batting average, 14th in on-base percentage. This is the wrong time of the year to all of a sudden not be able to hit the ball. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Guardians, who have been playing great. They just won 3 out of 4 against the Twins. They're one game back of Detroit. Like I was saying, they're currently tied with Houston there for the final wild card spot in the American League. So pretty crazy stuff down the stretch here. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Gavin Williams. He's 11-5 on the year, a 3.06 ERA. His last time on the mound was against Detroit. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed. Struck out 9 and walked 2 in a 4-0 win there for Cleveland. Very impressive stuff. He started against Detroit back in early July and was dominant in that outing as well. So this is a big spot here for Gavin Williams. I'm expecting him to go out and throw the ball really, really well. The Cleveland bullpen is clearly way better than that Detroit bullpen, so that's a big edge for them there. And they've been hitting the ball quite a bit better. 2, 8, 6, 6, 3, 4, and 7 over their last few games. Jose Ramirez is hitting the ball well, batting .282 with 30 home runs. They are up to 27th in the majors in runs scored. Over the course of the year, this team has not hit the ball well, but recently they've been swinging the bats great. So look at the numbers for this game, guys. The Tigers are minus 155. The Guardians are plus 130. We've got totals out there of 7 or 6.5. Detroit's 39-36 on the road, 42-32-1 to the over on the road. Cleveland's 41-34 at home, 38-34-3 to the under at home. Guys, this does not feel great to be fading Skubal here, but give me the Guardians at plus 130 with a reasonable chance to be our dog of the day. Detroit is just way too cold at the plate. Even if Skubal goes out there and throws 7 innings, that leaves enough time for Cleveland to get some runs against that terrible Detroit bullpen. Skubal hasn't looked unhittable. Gavin Williams has been great in this match, been great recently. I think the Guardians are very live in this one. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Pirates obviously have been eliminated from playoff contention for quite some time. They played okay in that series against the Athletics. They did get swept by the Cubs right before that. The Pirates will hand the ball in this one to Johan Oviedo. He's 2-0 on the year, a 3.52 ERA. Fresh off a pretty bad start there against the Cubs, gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs over 5 innings in an 8-4 loss, so that wasn't great. But other than that, he's thrown the ball really well in fairly limited action this season. Has he faced? No, he has not faced the Reds. I didn't think he'd face the Reds this year, so we'll see what he can do in this specific matchup. Now, the Pirates' bullpen's actually been pretty good down the stretch, so the pitching situation actually looks decent for the Pirates, and the offense is coming off an 11-run game, but they scored 11, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 0 over their last few games. They're last in the majors in runs scored. They are last in the majors in slugging percentage. Don't have a lot of positive things to say about the Pirates' offense. Now, the Reds, they come into this game playing some of their best ball of the season. They've won 5 in a row, 6 out of their last 7. They are currently tied there for the last wild card spot in the National League, so that's a pretty big deal. They're tied there with the Mets. That Mets collapse has helped a lot of teams hang around. The Reds will hand the ball in this one to Brady Singer, who's 14-10 on the year, a 3.86 ERA. He's been throwing the ball great here down the stretch. Over his last 5 starts, we see the Reds are 4-1. He had a very good start against the Mets. That was a pretty clutch outing there. In terms of his history against the Pirates, the last time he faced them, he really struggled there back in early August. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him there. He did have a good start against them back in May, so we'll see which version of Brady Singer we get in this one. The Reds' bullpen's been okay down the stretch. A 4.01 bullpen ERA, though, is not amazing. The offense has been getting the job done. 1, 6, 7, 1, and 6 over their last few games. This is not an elite level offense necessarily, but they find a way to get runs around. They're 19th in batting average, 17th in on base percentage, We'll see what they can come up in this one. I'm expecting them to have a relatively decent time, and so are the odds makers, because looking at the numbers for this game, the Pirates are plus 130, the Reds are minus 155. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Pirates are 23-52 on the road, 45-27-3 to the under on the road. That's actually an MLB best to the under on the road. The Reds are 44-33 at home, 43-26-8 to the under at home. Another very good under team. So right off the bat here, guys, I think under 8.5 is a very good play in this game. I don't think we're going to see a ton of offense. I mean, I'm expecting pretty good stuff from both of these starters, so I think offense will be at a premium. Neither bullpen's been bad recently either, so definitely think the under is the best play in this game. If you're begging me for a side, I will take the Reds, but at minus 155, there's not a lot of room for value in this one. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there to StumpTheSpread.com and see our top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL, and college football picks. We also have NHL coming up right around the corner. Hockey season is almost upon us, guys. NBA is coming up before you know it too, so definitely a great time to get over there to StumpTheSpread.com. Check out everything we offer. We've got free picks that are exclusively posted over there every single day, different from what you see here in the videos. We also have our free to use bet size calculator over there. It's a great thing to use. Make sure you're not busting your entire bankroll on just 1 or 2 bad days. That's not what this is about. We also, over there at StumpTheSpread.com, have all of those premium picks that I mentioned before. We have a team of experienced handicappers over there covering all the major sports. Each one of them has over a decade worth of experience covering that given sport. A ton of work goes into those predictions every single day on all the major sports, guys. It's a crazy amount of work, a lot of man hours going in, but we are very, very happy every single day with the product that we put out there. So definitely get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and check all of that out. In terms of the premium picks that went off today, it was a pretty sparse day there across sports. Our NFL handicapper wasn't showing tons of value here on this Monday Night Football game, so no football action. We did have a couple of MLB plays, a very bad beat there on that no-run first inning in that Milwaukee-San Diego game on that balk that led in a run. That was pretty devastating. Now, we still have the Giants live as a one-unit play, so we'll see what they can do down the stretch, but it was a pretty weak day of sports out there across the board on the 22nd. So we're expecting much, much more action. Coming up on the 23rd, we'll have a full slate of NFL. You want to get in there early on those NFL picks, those NCAA football picks. They can come out early in the week when our guys show lots of value and they want to take advantage of those early lines. So you definitely want to get over there and check that out. You also want to get over to StumpTheSpread.com and get on that free email list. It's a fantastic resource every single day. You go over there to StumpTheSpread.com, get on that email list by giving them your name and your email address. That's it. We get one email straight to your inbox every single day. It'll have at least one free pick, oftentimes 2 or more free picks. There'll be parlays included in those emails as well. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, WNBA is often covered. Tennis can be covered in those. Like, it's a fantastic. We got guys watching every single sport. There is a lot of great information in those emails every single day. So you definitely want to get in on that email list. It's a great resource if you are a serious sports bettor. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We do a members only giveaway every single week here on the Stump the Spread YouTube. We'll be doing another one here on the 29th. We give away a Stump the Spread member, Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here on YouTube. We spin a big wheel with everybody's name on it. Whoever that wheel lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie. But guys, we got to dive back in. We've got a ton more games to cover here on a full slate out there. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Marlins come into this game obviously eliminated from a playoff contention, or actually they're technically not eliminated from playoff contention yet. They could still theoretically sneak into the wild card. They would have to put in some pretty serious work, but it's really just been a huge step forward for this team to even be competing at all. They're 4 games back in the National League, so drawing pretty slim. They'll hand the ball in this one to Edward Cabrera, who's 7-7 on the year, a 3.57 ERA. He's coming off a debacle there against the Mets where he got absolutely obliterated. He did have a good start against the Braves, but he's been floundering a little bit here down the stretch. In terms of history against the Phillies, had a great start against them back in late June, but he hasn't been throwing the ball great recently, and neither has that Miami bullpen, a 4.32 bullpen ERA. Does make me a little bit nervous. Now, Overall, they've been winning games recently. They've won 6 in a row, sweeping the Rangers in some very, very devastating losses there for the Rangers. They also swept the Rockies, which obviously those games didn't matter, but the Marlins being technically not eliminated yet is very, very impressive. The offense, they've been hitting the ball pretty well. They've been an above average offense this year, so that's a great step in the right direction for this entire franchise. Now, they're taking on the Phillies, who just lost 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks, but they've already clinched the NL East. I don't think they have a crazy amount left to play for, but I do think they're going to be taking the games relatively seriously. They'll hand the ball in this one to Christopher Sanchez, who's 13-5 on the year, a 2.66 ERA. His last start, 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed in a 9-6 win over the Dodgers. The last time he faced the Marlins, though, dominant stuff. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run allowed, struck out 5 and walked 1 in a 9-3 win. So I'm expecting him to go out there and look really, really good in this game. The Phillies bullpen will always scare me. It's been pretty bad this year. The offense hasn't looked locked in over their last couple of games. Obviously, their season-long numbers are excellent. 7th in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, all that kind of good stuff, but not an offense you can necessarily count on a night-to-night basis. That being said, though, they are a dangerous team at the plate, and looking at the numbers for this game, the Marlins are plus 175. The Phillies are minus 215, a total of 8 in this one. The Marlins are 40-38 on the road, 40-36-2 to the over on the road. The Phillies are 51-24 at home. That's an MLB best home mark. 39-32-4 to the over at home. I'm not super interested in this total of 8. I don't think it's the overplay, with these trends is really something I'm going to get on board with, but I will take the Phillies here at minus 215 with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. I think they're going to find a way to get the win in this one. Cabrera's been floundering here down the stretch. I think this is definitely a good spot to back the Phillies with the potential with Sanchez on the mound for this to be our lock of the day. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The White Sox have obviously been eliminated from playoff contention for quite some time. They didn't have a very good season, not as bad as last season. We'll see if they can keep things, at least pointed in a kind of positive direction here, headed in the end of the year. They're handing the ball in this one to Shane Smith, who's 6-8 on the season, a 4.06 ERA. He got obliterated by the Orioles his last time on the mound. He's a 25-year-old on a major league mound, guys. That's going to happen every once in a while. The last time he faced the Yankees was back at the end of August, and he was very good. 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. The White Sox eventually lost that game 5-3 in extras, but Shane Smith was not the reason. He looked good out there. The White Sox bullpen hasn't been as bad as you would have expected. A 4.04 bullpen ERA isn't terrible. The offense, though, has been pretty bleak. They've scored 2, 3, 4, 1, 7, 1, and 2 over their last few games. They're 26th in runs scored. They're 29th in slugging percentage. Not a lot of amazing things for me to say right now about how the White Sox are swinging the bats. Now, they're taking on a New York Yankees team that is currently only 2 games back with Toronto in the AL East. I think they would certainly prefer to win the AL East instead of ending up with a wild card berth. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Luis Gil. The Yankees are fresh off winning 3 out of 4 against the Orioles. Luis Gil getting the start in this one, who's 4-1 on the year, a 3.33 ERA. His last time on the mound didn't go great either, though. Got obliterated there by the Twins. Start for that, he was dominant against the Red Sox. He's got a pretty good start against the White Sox under his belt there on the last day of August, but the Yankees did lose that game 3-2. So we'll see how this one goes for him. The Yankees bullpen has been a pretty sore spot down the stretch. A 4.50 bullpen ERA is atrocious. They've been a little bit better the last couple days. Now, the offense, killing it again. 7, 6, 2, 7, 10, and 10 over their last few games. Aaron Judge looking to crack 50 home runs again here pretty quick. They're first in runs scored. They're first in slugging percentage. Not a lot of bad stuff for me to say about the Yankees bats. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the White Sox are plus 200. The Yankees are minus 250. Got a total of 9 in this game. The White Sox are 25-50 on the road, 43-29-3 to the under on the road. The Yankees are 44-31 at home, 39-34-2 to the under at home. The question for me in this game is, do I like the Yankees here better as the lock of the day or the Phillies better as the lock of the day? I'm right now going to be leaning towards the Phillies. We'll see what actually makes the pin comment here, but I do think the Phillies are in a better spot against the Marlins, although the Marlins are a team that's really playing for something and the Phillies aren't playing for that much. So the Yankees definitely going on the list here. I'm just a little bit worried about the history, but I do think the Yankees are going to find a way to win this game by hook or by crook. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox heading to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. The Red Sox, 5 games back there in the AL East. More importantly, right now for them, they're 1 game up on Cleveland and the Astros in that battle for the remaining American League wildcard spots. The Red Sox just won 2 out of 3 against the Rays. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Lucas Giolito, who's 10-4 on the year, a 3.46 ERA. Coming off a bad start against the Athletics, a mediocre start against the Yankees, a bad start against the Diamondbacks. He's not throwing the ball the best at the most important time of the season. So we'll see what he can do here against Toronto. He hasn't faced them since back in late June, and he was great in that outing, but it was a 15-1 blowout. So we'll see what he looks like in this one, especially if it's a close game. Have not been thrilled with how he's thrown the ball lately. The Red Sox bullpen, on the other hand, has been fantastic down the stretch. A 3.48 bullpen ERA has them among the top 2, 3, 4 bullpens in the majors. That has not been a problem. The offense is looking okay. 3, 6, 11, 3, 5, and 1 over their last few games. Not dominant numbers, but they are 6th in the majors in runs scored and 4th in batting average this year. So I don't have a ton of bad stuff to say about the Red Sox. One problem is they're going to be facing the Blue Jays in this one. Now, Toronto did just lose 4 in a row before winning that last game of the series against the Royals. They're 2 games up in the AL East. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Kevin Gausman. He's 10-10 on the year, a 3.38 ERA. His last 4 starts have been amazing. He's given up a total of 3 earned runs over those starts. He had that complete game 2 hitter against the Astros, followed that up with 6 innings, 6 hits, and 1 earned run against Tampa Bay. Now, Toronto managed to lose that game, but it was not Gausman's fault. Obviously, we'll see what he can do here against the Red Sox, a team he hasn't faced at all. Oh no, hasn't faced since April. Is that really possible? He hasn't faced them since April? I guess that's the truth, but he dominated them in April, going 8 innings of 1 run ball. So I'm expecting very good stuff here from Gausman. The Toronto bullpen, on the other hand, can be a little bit hit or miss. The offense has also been very hit or miss. They've scored 8, 1, 1, 0, and 1 over their last few games. That is not great. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored. They're 1st in batting average and 1st in on-base percentage, but not exactly killing it at the plate right now. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back at them here. Looking at the numbers, the Red Sox are plus 140. The Blue Jays are minus 165. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Boston's a 500 road team. They're 42-35 and 1 to the over on the road. Toronto, 50-25 at home, 44-29 and 2 to the over at home. That's actually an MLB best to the over at home. Given these trends, maybe you could talk me into the over in this one, but I'm not getting involved in that. I will take the Blue Jays here at minus 165, but the price tag isn't super appealing. While I expect Gausman to be good, what do I expect to get out of this Toronto offense? That seems very up in the air. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Nationals have obviously been eliminated for quite some time. They lost 11-5 there yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Braves with us yesterday as our lock of the day. The Nationals hand the ball in this one to Brad Lord. He's sporting a 4.18 ERA coming off a mediocre start against Atlanta, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed back on the 17th. We'll see what he looks like in this one. He's thrown the ball okay occasionally this season, but hasn't been great. Obviously not great history against Atlanta here, so we'll see. I'm not expecting miracles from him or from that Nationals bullpen. They've been the worst bullpen in the majors by a pretty significant margin over the course of this year, so that is a pretty sizable problem. The offense, 5-3, 5, 6, 4, and 0. This isn't a team that's hitting the ball well. Don't seem super pumped with how, they're ready to get the season over with is what it feels like to me. Now, they're taking on a Braves team that's playing their best ball of the year. They kind of feels like they're trying to prove to themselves they should have been a good team, just were derailed by injuries. They've won 9 in a row. They'll hand the ball in this one to Hurston Waldrep, and it's honestly, it's unfortunate they're eliminated. But Waldrep comes in this game 5-1 on the year, a 3.04 ERA. This young 23-year-old has been pretty good out there. He did face the Nationals back on the 17th, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Not a great outing from him, but I'm expecting him to be even better this time on the mound. This kid has pretty electric stuff. The Braves bullpen, while it hasn't been great over the course of the year, has been good down the stretch, so that's been a bit of a positive, and the offense is just going nuts. 11, 6, 6, 10, 9, and 5 over their last few games. Matt Olson doing his thing. Obviously, some injuries cropping up here, but I'm not too worried. They're 13th in runs scored, they're 12th in on-base percentage, and they've got good history against the guy they're facing. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Nationals are plus 165, the Braves are minus 195. A total of 9 in this game. Washington is 33-45 on the road, 40, 32, and 6 to the over on the road. Atlanta's 36 and 39 at home, 40, 31, and 4 to the under at home. I'm tempted to work the Braves into that lock of the day conversation, if I'm being honest. I do think with Waldrep on the mound, you want to give him a look. Now, he hasn't been quite as sharp recently, but the Nationals have just been so bad, and the Braves have been so hot. We definitely have to consider this one. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets heading to Chicago to take on the Cubs. The Mets at 80 and 76 on the year have been one of the coldest teams in the MLB, and thanks to that, they've almost played themselves out of a playoff spot. They're currently tied with the Reds for the last playoff spot there in the National League wildcard hunt. They'll hand the ball in this one to David Peterson. He's 9-6 on the season, a 3.98 ERA. He got obliterated by the Padres his last time around. Didn't have a good start against the Phillies the start before that. He's been having a really, really rough time out there. Now he's got to face the Cubs, not exactly the easiest team to face out there, and it will be his first time of the season going up against them, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not expecting miracles from him or that Mets bullpen, a 3.98 bullpen ERA. That's been a problem down the stretch. The offense is falling apart as well. They've scored 2, 3, 12, 6, 4, 8, and 5 over their last few games, which, those aren't terrible numbers. They're 11th in runs scored. They're 12th in batting average, but I have not been in love with what I've seen from the Mets here down the stretch, obviously, about playing themselves out of a playoff spot. Now, they're taking on a Cubs team that's 88-68 on the year. They've dropped 4 in a row, just getting swept there by the Reds, so we'll see if they're able to turn that ship around. Obviously, they haven't really done much to compete with the Brewers there in the NL Central, but they currently find themselves easily atop the National League wildcard standings, so they don't have to worry too much about that. They're going to hand the ball in this one to their young rookie phenom, Cade Horton. He's 11-4 on the year, a 2.66 ERA. His last 3 starts have looked very, very good, dominating the Pirates and dominating the Braves twice. Hasn't been facing a lot of tough competition over his last few outings, but I don't think the Mets really even qualify as that tough of competition. He did start his season against them back in May and didn't look great, but the way he's throwing the ball right now, I'm expecting him to do a pretty good job out there. The Cubs bullpen's been okay. Not a dominant bullpen by any stretch. A 3.80 bullpen ERA isn't ideal. Offensively, it's been a little bit bleak, especially that series against the Reds. They scored 1, 6, 7, and 1 over those 4 games. Honestly, this team just hasn't been the same at the plate since the All-Star break. It's been a little bit bleak. 8th in runs scored and 8th in slugging percentage over the course of the year, but it's been a little bit less than ideal. So we'll see what they can do in this matchup going up against the slumping Mets. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are plus 105. The Cubs are minus 120. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. The Mets are 31-44 on the road. 35, 33, and 7 to the under on the road. The Cubs are 46 and 27 at home, 34, 32, and 7 to the under at home. I'm unlikely to take the under in this game. I am going to lean towards the Cubs here just based on how ice cold the Mets are right now. Will this make the pinned comment? Well, with Cade Horton on the mound there for Chicago, I would say it's definitely got a chance. That's a very reasonable price. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Twins at 67-89 on the year have obviously been out of the mix for quite some time. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Zebby Matthews. He's 4-6 on the year, a 5.97 ERA. He has not had a great year, getting obliterated in each of his last 2 outings, destroyed by the Yankees and the Angels there. So we'll see what he can do against the Rangers. Not the toughest team to face, but also with the way he's throwing the ball, I don't think you can feel confident really against anyone. Now, the Twins bullpen has also not been good this season, all the way up to a 4.65 bullpen ERA. That is far from ideal. Offensively, 2-0-0 and 2 over their last few, or 6-0-0 and 2 over their last few games. It's not just this team has clearly let go of the rope. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They're 22nd in batting average, and those numbers aren't getting better. This team has had nothing to play for a while, and they have been pretty clearly showing that. Now, they're taking on a Rangers team that's currently 5 games back there in the American League wild card hunt. Pretty devastating recent play there from them, losing their last 7 games in a row, getting swept by the Marlins and by the Astros. That's pretty brutal. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Patrick Corbin, who's 7-10 on the year, a 4.33 ERA. Him being out there kind of, to me, means they're just waving the white flag on the season. He got obliterated in a bullpen start there against the Marlins back on the 19th. I am not expecting him to go out there and look great. The Rangers bullpen has been pretty good this year. A 3.57 bullpen ERA is nothing to turn your nose up at, but offensively, this team has been terrible. They've scored 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, and 3 over their last few games, and that's honestly not even that bad considering this team was in the bottom 5 or 6 in the majors in most major hitting categories this season. So look at the numbers here. The Twins are plus 118. The Rangers are minus 140. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Twins are 29-46 on the road, 38-34 and 3 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 47-31 at home, 48-29 and 1 to the under at home. Despite these trends, with these 2 dudes on the mound, I'm leaning towards over 8.5. I just think there's going to be offense in this game. Now, it's not a pin comment level play. Obviously, we're not going against the trends that aggressively, but just looking at these 2 dudes on the mound, I think there's going to be plenty of runs scored. The Rangers are obviously the more desperate team, so I will lean slightly towards them, but nothing from this mess is going in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals heading to LA to take on the Angels. The Royals just won 2 out of 3 there against the Blue Jays. They're currently 6 games back in the American League wildcard hunt, so all but eliminated. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Cole Rangans, who's 2-3 on the season, a 5.16 ERA. We'll see what he can do out there. He's had a kind of disappointing season, obviously dealt with injury. His last start only lasted 3 2/3 innings against the Mariners and gave up 2 earned runs in that one. We did see the Royals win that game 7-5, but he's not getting to go deep into games, and it's putting a lot of pressure on the Royals bullpen, which has been good this year. Don't get me wrong, a 3.64 bullpen ERA, certainly respectable. The offense has been the problem for this team. I know they put up 20 runs in game 1 of that series against the Blue Jays. Congrats on that. You're still 27th in the majors in runs scored and 22nd in on base percentage, so we'll see what they can do over these last few games, but it would take an absolute miracle for this team to end up playing in the postseason. They're taking on an Angels team that's really let go of the rope here at the end of the year as well. They're 70-86 on the year, hitting the ball in this one to Sam Aldeguerri. This young 24-year-old lefty is 0-0 on the year, sporting a 10.38 ERA. He got shelled over his 2 innings against the Rangers. Now he's got to go against the Royals. This kid has not had a good time up with the big leagues this season. His outings were back in early July and early June, and neither one of them went well. So we'll see what he can do. It's been a little bit rough for this young Italian. The bullpen for the Angels is also atrocious, one of the worst 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors, and the offense has been very cold down the stretch. They scored 1-3, 6, 2, 2, 2, and 2 over their last few games. Yeah, I mean, Trout hitting his 400th home run might be the biggest highlight of this team's season. So looking at the numbers here, the Royals are -150. The Angels are +130. We've got a total of 8.5. The Royals are 35-40 on the road, a 500 over-under team on the road. The Angels are 37-38 at home, 41-30 and 4 to the over at home. I mean, I'll take the Royals here at -150. I'm not in love with this necessarily, but the price tag is just the annoying part. I do think they're going to win this game, and given the pitching situation there for the Angels, surely the Royals will have to win this one very, very comfortably. So if you were very confident in this one, you could even mix them in there at -1.5, but we'll probably just stick with them at -150 to get the job done. Next on the schedule, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies heading to Seattle to take on the Mariners. Unfortunately, no numbers out yet for this game. Now, the Rockies, they've had a terrible season. They did just win 2 out of 3 against the Angels, but they've lost 113 games this year. They're going to hand the ball in this game to McCade Brown. This young 25-year-old righty is 0-4 on the year, a 9.17 ERA, coming off a pretty bad start there against the Marlins. 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs led, walked 4, and struck out 1. We haven't seen anything great from him, so I'm not expecting miracles here against the Mariners. The bullpen for the Rockies has been one of the worst bullpens in the majors, and the offense has been atrocious. They're 29th in runs scored. They are last on base percentage. Not going to waste a lot of oxygen talking about the Rockies, guys. They are terrible. They're taking on the Mariners here, who've been playing great. They're currently 3 games up on Houston, sweeping the Astros there pretty convincingly, winning 7-3, 6-4, and 4-0 in that series in Houston. So they are riding high right now. Got to be feeling just amazing about themselves. Pretty great stuff. You kind of got to love to see it, actually, after what happened to the Mariners last season. Now, obviously, this is still a team that has to finish the season off strong. They're 3 games up, like I said, so things are not over. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Bryce Miller, who's 4-5 on the year, a 5.58 ERA. His last time around didn't look great against the Royals. He's honestly struggled over his last 2 starts. We'll see what he can do here against the Rockies. You would think if you're going to have a good start against anyone, it would be the Colorado Rockies. So we'll see how that goes. Their bullpen's obviously been good. That hasn't been a huge problem this year. The offense is also a massive turnaround. Like, Cal Raleigh has a chance to hit 60 home runs this year. They're 10th in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average, 10th in slugging percentage. They put up 7, 6, and 4 runs against the Astros. So I'm expecting good stuff here from the Mariners. They're a great home team, 48-27 at home. Colorado's the worst road team in the majors. No shock there. So I'm very likely to be leaning towards the Mariners in this game, but with Bryce Miller on the mound, it's probably not going to make the pin comment. Next on the dock, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers won 3 out of 4 there against the Giants. They're currently 3 games up on the Padres there in the NL West, so they got to be feeling great. They're going to hand the ball to Ohtani to make the start in this one. We'll see what we get out of Ohtani out there on the mound. He's shown that he can be a little bit inconsistent there throwing the ball. Obviously, the offense has been A-OK. The bullpen there for the Dodgers is very concerning in these Ohtani starts, because you're not sure how long he's going to, how deep he's going to go in the game. And the Dodgers bullpen's been pretty bad. The offense has figured things out, though. 1, 7, 6, 2, and 5 over their last few games. They're second in the majors in runs scored, and given their payroll, you would certainly expect something like that to be the case. Now, they're taking on an Arizona Diamondbacks team that just won 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. The Diamondbacks currently find themselves in the mix there in the wildcard hunt. They're 1 game back of the Mets and the Reds. Very exciting stuff if you're a Diamondbacks fan. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Brandon Pfaadt. He's 13-8 on the year, a 5.02 ERA, coming off a complete game 1-hitter there against the Giants, a game that the Diamondbacks managed to lose 5-1 in extra innings. Brutal stuff there. We'll see what he can do against the Dodgers, a team he had a bad start against back in late August. So we'll see. Not super high on Brandon Pfaadt in this spot, not super high on that Arizona bullpen either. The pitching situation doesn't look great. Now, offensively, they put up 9 runs in the last game. I'm sure that feels good. They're 4th in runs scored, 3rd in slugging percentage. We'll see what they can do here against Ohtani. I wouldn't be shocked to see them have a decent day against him. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Dodgers are minus 160. The Diamondbacks are plus 135. A total of 9 in this game. The Dodgers are 34 and 39 on the road, 41, 31, and 1 to the under on the road. The Diamondbacks are 42 and 36 at home, 38, 35, and 5 to the over at home. I will lean towards the Diamondbacks here just at plus 135 just a little bit. I think this is a reasonable play. They're the more desperate team. I also think over 9 could have some value in this game. I think both teams are going to get on the board early and often. Is anything from this one going in the pinned comment, though? Seems like a stretch to me. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers heading to San Diego to take on the Padres. The Brewers and Padres are playing right now with things all tied up there in the top of the 8th inning. The Brewers obviously have clinched pretty much everything they need to clinch so far this year, so they don't have a ton left to play for. We don't have a confirmed starter for them for this game, which is probably the reason we have no numbers as of yet. We'll see who they put out there on the mound. The bullpen, I'm not sure how they're trying to manage that heading into the end of the year, but the bullpen's been a lot better down the stretch, and the offense has been okay. They haven't hit the ball extremely well over the last, like 5 to 10 games, but we'll see what they do in this one going up against the Padres, who currently 3 games back of the Dodgers, need every win they can get. They're trying to hold on to that, wild card spot, and they're in pretty good shape there. So not a lot of concerns as they hand the ball to Randy Vasquez, who's 5-7 on the year, a 3.94 ERA coming off a terrible start against the Mets. He was awful out there, had good starts against the Rockies. Well, we'll see what he can do here against maybe slightly demotivated Brewers team that he did pitch a solid 4 2/3 innings against back in early June. The bullpen for the Padres has been the best bullpen in the majors. There's no question about that. The offense, on the other hand, though, has not been good. 19th in runs scored, 23rd in slugging percentage. A lot was on the plate of Machado and Tatis, and it hasn't really panned out. They haven't really been able to carry this team to success. So, unfortunately, this will have to be a wait-and-see spot as there are no numbers posted for this game and no starter for the Brewers. So, keep an eye on that pinned comment throughout the day. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Cardinals and Giants are actually playing right now with the Cardinals up 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see how that one finishes up. Now, the Cardinals, another team that's kind of hanging around there in the wild card hunt. They are 4 games back, so they need a lot of positive things to happen. The Giants, on the other hand, are 3 games back, so these games are very, very important. The Cardinals will hand the ball in this one to Andre Pallante. He's 6-15. He got 6 wins, 15 losses on the year, a 5.29 ERA, coming off a bad start there against the Reds. His last good start was against the Giants. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed in a 3-2 win for the Cardinals. So we'll see if he can replicate that. The Cardinals' bullpen's been excellent. That has not been a problem this year. Top 5, top 6 bullpen. The offense, well, the bottom's fallen out of the offense here in the back half of the year. I say that. They have scored 6 runs in their current game and 5 the game before that. So maybe they're figuring things back out, but 27th in slugging percentage and 18th in batting average doesn't get me too jazzed up. Now, they're taking on a Giants team. Obviously, they need every single win they can possibly get. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Logan Webb, who's 14-11 on the year. His last start was against the Dodgers, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned in a 2-1 loss. That had to be pretty devastating. We'll see what he can do here against the Cardinals, a team that he hasn't faced this season at all. He hasn't faced the Cardinals? No, he has not faced the Cardinals. So we'll see what Logan Webb can do. I'm expecting him to be pretty good out there. I'm expecting the Giants bullpen to continue to be excellent. One of the best 3 bullpens in the majors, no doubt about that. The offense, on the other hand, is pretty bad. They're 17th in runs scored, but 26th in batting average and 26th in slugging percentage. They've scored 5 in their current game. They're still down 1. They hit the ball okay in the last 3 games against the Dodgers, but really don't come into this game or this series swinging the hottest bats. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the Cardinals are plus 165. The Giants are minus 195. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. The Cardinals, 32-43 on the road, 38-33-4 to the over on the road. The Giants are 38-37 at home, 40-32-3 to the under at home. I will be leaning towards the Giants in this game just a little bit, but at minus 195, definitely not going to get any action from me. Pallante with success against the Giants here definitely makes me cautious, and overall, I think this is probably going to be a low-scoring game, so maybe you could take the under, but none of that feels very good to me. Last but not least here, guys, on this extremely loaded slate, we've got the Houston Astros headed to Sacramento to take on the Athletics. The Astros just got swept in that series against the Mariners. They're now 3 games back, so it looks like they're more likely going to be battling for a wild card spot, and they need to be worried about what the Cleveland Guardians do. do and what the Red Sox do. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Christian Javier, who's 2-3 on the year, a 4.45 ERA, coming off a solid start against the Rangers. We saw the Astros win that game 5-2, and he gave up 2 earned runs, so very good stuff in that one. We'll see what he can do here against the Athletics, a much different team to face that he has not faced this year. The Astros bullpen's been a bit all over the place, but overall, pretty solid. I can't complain too much. Offensively, 3-4 and 0 runs there against the Mariners was pretty devastating stuff. They just haven't been that great at the plate this year. They're 11th in batting average, but 23rd in runs scored, and that's not a number that we've seen head in a very positive direction. So we'll see what they can do here against the Athletics, who at 73 and 83 are eliminated from contention this year, but have been much better than I would have expected. They did just get shut out in back-to-back games with the Pirates. Not a great look. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jeffrey Springs, who's 10 and 11 on the season, a 4.17 ERA, coming off a good start, albeit a short 4-inning one against the Red Sox, where they only gave up 1 unearned run. I mean, he hasn't been amazing down the stretch. I can't say that, but we'll see what he can do here against the Astros, a team that he faced back in late July and was very good against in a 15-3 beatdown win. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Athletics bullpen's been not great, but improving down the stretch. The offense getting shut out in back-to-back games looks terrible. They do have some dangerous hitters out there, but we've also seen them suffer some injuries down the stretch, so I don't really have a ton of faith in that offense. And looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the odds makers have this one listed as a flip. Both teams are -110. The Athletic, we got a total of 10 in this game. Houston's basically a 500 road team and a 500 over-under team. The Athletics, they're not very good at home. 33 and 42 at home, 37, 34, and 4 to the over at home. I will lean towards the Astros on the road in this one, but I don't love it. It's definitely not going to make the pinned comment. I just know Houston needs these games a lot more than the Athletics do, and they're going to be trying an awful lot harder. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everyone watching these videos. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. It's a great resource. Definitely check out the premium plays if you're interested in that. We're still running a sale on NHL full season purchases, so you want to check in on that as well. And we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.